Okay, I'm going to show you how to do the kimono style baby booty. Isn't that cute? So this is probably about 3 to 6 month old size. So you're going to start, you're going to need 2 stitch markers. You don't have to use them, but I prefer for making sure that the sections are separated properly. So basically I'm going to say how you do it first, and then I'm going to start the process of going through it. It's just a single crochet. So for this you'll need to know how to chain and do a single crochet and then chain 1 and turn your work. If you don't know how to do that, I will either put the link to my tutorial on the stitch in the description of this video, or I'll put the link to somebody else's tutorial on how to do that, because I prefer people to know how to do a stitch before they take on doing a pattern. That's just my preference. Everybody's different. Anyways, because I don't want this to be a really long video, so practice the stitch if you don't know it already a few times, and then that way you'll feel more comfortable, like, oh, I got this, and then off we go. Okay, so to start, chain 25, and then you're going to single crochet 24, because the 25th chain is the loop. It doesn't count as the stitch that you're going to be going into. So you're going to have 24 single crochets, and then you're going to count 8 and put a stitch marker in the 8th one. So that stitch marker going to the right is that section. Then you're going to count 8 more, and then the 8th one you're going to put a stitch marker. So that stitch marker going this way is for that section, and then you should have 8 single crochets left. And then you're going to do rows, and you're going to clip it off, okay? And then I measure exactly, it's like 2 3/4 inches. This width here is going to be this width if you were to measure this way width. And so then you're going to, with the 8 stitches, you're going to go in opposite direction, the exact width that this is. Then for the first booty, you're going to go over to the right and then to the left, and then the next booty you're going to go left and then the right on top, and then I'll show you all that process on how to darn that in. So I'm going to get my measuring tape out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have measured, just to be on double check, but so this is 8 rows, okay, 8 rows, okay, going this way. And so I measured it, it's about 2 3/4 inches, okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and snip this off. My little snippers that I won in the giveaway. Thank you, Trisha's Creative Treasures. My first ever giveaway I won. That was cool. And our secret giveaway. Okay, so now I'm going to take these stitch markers and I'm going to walk it back up to the top. Again, you don't have to, that's my preference to use them. So I'm going to count my stitches, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and on the 8th one I'm going to put that stitch marker in there. Okay, and then on the 8th one again I'm going to put another stitch marker, but I'm not counting the stitch with the stitch marker in it, because that's for this section. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 in the 8th. So this stitch marker going this way is for this section, and then I should have 8 left. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, so now I'm going to start here, not in the one where the stitch marker is, because that is for this section. So I will start in that first stitch past this first stitch marker, okay, and I'm just going to start single crocheting and end where this stitch marker is, and then just do 8 rows. and then I'll measure it before I cut it off. All right, so bring that hoop through this first one here, and I'm going to make that a reasonable. Now I have the hoop in there, and I'm going to chain one. Okay, counts as your first single crochet. All right, then I'm going to start my single crochet rows going in the opposite direction. Whoop. And then end where the stitch marker is. That's going to be the last one in the row, and you should have 8 stitches. Okay, so counting this one, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and chain one, turn your work. Whoop, chain one, turn, and then go back into that first one. Okay, this is the second row. Now do 8 rows of this and don't cut off. Okay, when I get the 8 rows done, I will be back. Right back. Okay, so I have 8 rows this way. Now what you can also do, it should match. See? Okay, but trusty little measuring tape. It should be, it doesn't have to be exact, but you know, pretty close. So I have right at 2 3/4, and then 2 3/4 this way here. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to snip this off and tie it. And because I've already done the other booty going right to left, now I'm going to go left to right. Show you what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that right now. So this time, instead of going, of course it's going to be mirrored, just know I'm going to take these stitch markers out. And I'm going to fold it left to right. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch all 3 of these together, darning it with a yarn needle, and we'll be right back. Okay, so this is, on the package it doesn't say what size that is, so just so you can see. And you don't have to have that big of a one. I have used smaller ones before, but anyways, this is what I have currently. And it is a little, this one, this size is a little bit snug. Okay, I've gone over left to right, but remember, the first booty, you'll do one that's right to left, and then the other one left to right, obviously, because it's the opposite foot. Okay, so line it up, corner to corner. It's kind of tricky because you kind of have to twist it. And I use these to tie and anchor later when I cut off. So, going to go through this very first stitch here, and that very first stitch, and then that very first stitch. Remember, once I get done with all this darning, I'm going to turn the shoe inside out. So about that much. Then I'm going to go through the second stitch, and you just want to, you don't want to like go at the top and then go down. You want to make sure you're evenly going at the top all the way across. And you're just going to do this all the way across, and try not to have it going through yarn. You want it to go evenly through the stitch. See? And then go through this stitch here, this stitch, then this stitch, and do that all the way across, like my poodle shirt. Okay, and so then I went back across just through the top one loop, just for good measure. You do not have to do that. Okay, so there's that. All right, so now I'm going to snip this. Usually I snip that before I start the darning process. Okay, tie string to string or yarn to yarn. Then I take this over here. I'm going to darn that in. It's about time for her second pill of the day. I'll talk about that in another video. Okay, so now I'm going to do this side and then this side. Then I will turn it inside out. I'll be right back. Okay, so got my... Now, on this side here, you're not going to be able to get that third one. You know how you lined all these up evenly? So just catch, you're going to catch probably the first 2 stitches of this middle one. And don't worry about that. You're just going to be going the rest of the way through these top 2. Okay? Just don't panic. It's supposed to be like that. Okay. Snip this off. Alright. That was probably more yarn than I need. I don't like to be wasteful with my yarn. Okay. And then you're just going to go back and forth. Like I catch that first, probably 1 and 2nd stitch of that middle one. Remember, don't go through the yarn, just through the stitch. Don't split the yarn. That one's pretty snug. It's okay. It's a big needle. Okay, so, and you can use a smaller needle. This is one I just happen to have handy, so. I like my metal one the best. Okay, so now I no longer have that middle one in there, so now just nice and neatly go through the hole in each crochet. Whoop, don't catch the yarn. Okay, see how it just goes through that hole and then across to that hole and then do that all the way down to here. Okay, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm done with that. Now I'm always leftover yarn. Wish I hadn't done that. Okay, so snip that off. I don't need that much. I'll use these for something else. Okay, so now I'm going to do the opposite side. Remember, we're going to be turning this inside out, and this is going to be your opening. Okay, so you're going to do the exact same side here, and this time you don't even have a middle. So this time it's just from here to here. So this time I'm going to start on this end and then end up here, so that way I can use this to tie off this. So start right there, and that, make sure right there in that corner to make sure it's going to be secured real good there. And again, just going through the top of the stitch to each stitch. And I might even go do a double one in that corner back there, just to make sure we get our corners good. Oop, started to go through a yarn there. Just make sure you keep it in the stitch. And when I get over here, I'll see you at the other side. Okay, I'm going to tie this off here, the end there. Don't worry about all the extra yarns. We'll snip all those, tie them together, snip them off, make it nice and neat. Okay, so now, here's your opening. You're going to turn it inside out. And again, we'll get to all those strings here in a bit. Trim all those off. And push this. Okay, that's your fold. You're going to push it, push, push, push. Okay, just sort of shape it a little bit. tied down in here, so I'm ready to snip that off. Okay. Just kind of push, shape, get it how you want it. And any little snippet, like I got a little poker poking out, we're going to bring that in with the hook. Get back in here. Get back in there. Okay. And just shape it until it's, yep. So, as you can see, you have one going this way and one going that way. Ta-da! The kimono, baby booty. Put the little foot in there. Make them all nice and cuddly warm. It's an easy pattern. Okay, I will put the link to the single crochet stitch. If you're new, please watch that. So at any rate, and then I will put the measurements that I shared in this video. Easy peasy. You can do this. I literally just learned how to do this. Watch the tutorial. Now the measurements that I use are different, okay, because the one that I watched was for a newborn, so I don't know what they use, but this is what the measurements that I use, and I think they worked out. So here you go. Please share on my channel. Please share with other people that if this crochet tutorial helps you. I will appreciate your feedback, and please share with other people and help me get a little bit more of people watching the tutorial videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.